Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this emergency live broadcast. Donald Trump is doing two things. He is moving the military to do two massive things. Number one, he wants to invoke a wartime occupation act for mass deportation. Number two, he is preparing the United States military to take back the Panama Canal. As soon as you're in, do me a huge favor, smash that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed with bell notifications on. Leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from? Let's get right into it. First things first. Here we go. Trump to invoke Wartime Alien Enemies Act, authorizing the summary deportation of criminal migrants, including Guantanamo Bay. And it goes on to say, President Trump is reportedly about to invoke wartime legislation to summarily deport some criminal migrants, including to Guantanamo Bay. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798 is expected to be activated as soon as tomorrow. Goes on to say, the 227-year-old law gives presidents the extraordinary power to order the arrest, detention, and deportation of non-citizens who are 14 years or older and come from countries staging an invasion or predatory incursion of the United States. Mr. Trump is expected to cite the 18th century statute to order the swift detention and deportation of suspected members of the Tren de Aragua, a Venezuelan gang with prison origins that his administration has designated a foreign terrorist organization, said the source, who requested anonymity to discuss internal deliberations. Want to know why? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, woke mayors, woke city officials, woke county officials all across this country are harboring and hiding and housing illegal immigrants. A great example is this. An illegal immigrant gets arrested and for driving under the influence, domestic violence, theft, and is in jail. ICE calls the jail, says keep him. By the way, is chat working for you guys? Leave me a comment. You see me, you hear me, where you from? So ICE calls them and says, hey, keep that person. They say no. They say no. And then they release them. If Trump invokes this act, well, by the way, not only do they say no, but they refuse to allow ICE to go into their jails to arrest these individuals and deport them. But if Trump invokes this act, they are going to have the authority to go into any jail, any city, any building without asking permission from anybody. I love it. I love it. Let's continue. Officials are reported to have made preparations to send dangerous gang members to the U.S. naval base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The move is expected to come just as soon as the president invokes the Alien Enemies Act. Those subject to the Alien Enemies Act would not be allowed to have a court hearing or asylum interview, since they would be processed under an emergency wartime authority, not immigration law. Instead, they would be eligible to be detained and deported with little to no due process under Title 50, the section of the U.S. Code housing America's war and defense laws. I love it. I'm all for it. Now let's continue. Why does Trump want to do this? Let me play you this video.
Homeland Security officials are accusing the Biden administration of misleading the public on border numbers. So by counting migrants that were processed and released as ICE arrests. That doesn't sound right. Brooke Taylor is live in Dallas, and she has much more. Hi, Brooke. Good morning.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, those senior leaders with DHS and ICE took time to speak to reporters, and they basically accused the Biden administration of what they're calling, quote, cooking the books and lying basically to the American public about how many illegal migrants they actually arrested. I want to show you what the acting ICE director here, Todd Lyons, had to say about this. He said, quote, ICE found tens of thousands of cases that were recorded as arrests when in fact the illegal aliens were simply processed and then released into American communities. The Biden administration reported more than 100,000 arrests in fiscal year 2024. But the senior leaders say the numbers are deceiving. That is because the majority of these arrests are what's called pass-through arrests, meaning they pass through ICE, then were just released into American communities pending those immigration hearings. Now, we've been trying to reach out to former DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to get his response to these claims. We have not heard back, but this is what he had to say about illegal migrant arrests when he was pressed during a White House briefing back in 2023.
I want to be very clear. Our borders are not open. People who cross our border unlawfully and without a legal basis to remain will be promptly processed and removed. We removed, returned, and expelled 1.4 million people last year. Ask those 1.4 million people if they think the border is open.
Meanwhile, the senior ICE officials say arrest numbers under the Trump administration do not include any pass-through arrests since them ending this catch and release policy. The senior officials say that they're fully enforcing immigration laws, unlike the last administration. Now, during President Trump's first 50 days in office, ICE arrested 32,800.
Okay, let me stop it there. Look at that chart. This is why that wartime law needs to be enacted. We believe that under the Biden administration, at least 10 million illegal immigrants entered and are in our country right now. Let's round up that number to 33,000. 33,000 in 50 days. Well, maybe Trump administration will deport around 1 million within 4 years. 1.5 million. That's not a big number, ladies and gentlemen. With this rate, we will not have the biggest mass deportation operation that we were promised. And Trump sees that. And one of the reasons the numbers are so low is because, again, the woke leaders all over this country, the woke mayors, the woke sheriffs, the woke police departments, the woke city leaders and governors all across this nation that house and harbor illegal immigrants, that go against the federal government, that go against ICE and Tom Homan and what they are trying to do. So this has to be done. This has to be done. Now, at the beginning, I mentioned the Panama Canal. Well, Trump is asking his generals and his military to write up a plan just in case we need to invade and go by militarily and take what belongs to us back. Report. Trump asks military to draw up options for retaking the Panama Canal. President Trump is reportedly moving forward with plans to retake the Panama Canal. According to officials who spoke with NBC News, Trump asked military leaders to, quote, draw up options for a plan that would either see the United States partnering more closely with the Panama security forces or potentially taking the canal back by force. The report states, U.S. Southern Command is developing potential plans that vary from partnering more closely with the Panama security forces to the less likely option of U.S. troops seizing the Panama Canal by force, the officials said. Whether military forces used, the officials added, depends on how much the Panama security forces agree to partner with the United States. Here's what we're witnessing, ladies and gentlemen. We are witnessing a president who says, no more putting illegals first. No more taking in the worst, because trust me, No country is sending us their geniuses. No one's sending us their version of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos who builds jobs. Nobody. They're sending us MS-13 gang members. They're sending us killers. They're sending us thugs, drug dealers. And Trump says, no more. You're about to take them back. Ladies and gentlemen, number two, Trump looks at the Panama Canal and says, our men built this. Our money built this. And yet we gave it to you for $1, and now you tax the United States ships more than any other ships, and China now runs it? No. We're taking back what belongs to us, what was built by us, what was financed by us, one way or another. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what having a president that cares for his nation looks like. But on the flip side, we haven't had a president like this in so long that the Democrats don't know how to react. That's why you see them burning down Tesla trucks, because they believe we are supposed to just hand out money to every country that asks for money, and we are supposed to send our soldiers overseas to die for other nations. They believe that's the way America should be, but it's not. It's not. America is like a family, just like every other nation is its own family. I am not going to feed my neighbor's kids unless I know that what I'm giving them is extra and my kids won't go hungry. It's not cruel. It's just making sure my kids, my responsibility is taken care of first. Then I can come and help you if you need it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the evening update. Thank you so much for coming and joining me for this live broadcast. Have a fantastic evening. God bless you. See you soon. Bye-bye.